Coming back, how much fun is this for you to be able to go into a season with guys that really know their roles and what they need to do?
Yeah, it's exciting. Certainly, with the new offense, it's a new experience for all of us, even the experienced guys. So it's been had a good spring and excited to get going this afternoon.
How important is developing the depth behind your starting five? Not so much for this season, but also beyond that.
Yeah, I think it's critical. I mean, we do have some experience coming back, but we all know that injuries take place, and the closer we can get the guys 6 through 11 to the guys 1 through 5, you never want to have injuries, but at least it protects you a little bit if there are. And so it's vital. Like you mentioned, down the road there's some brand new freshmen in there that we get a chance to look at for the first time, and some guys that may not have had as many reps in the team periods, but certainly the more depth you can create, you protect yourself against injuries.
Spencer and Caleb are getting a lot of press, but what about your 3 interior guys that are veteran guys? What do you see from them that gives you excitement about what this year could be?
Yeah, I mean, they've all played a lot of snaps. I think they're physical kids. They're guys that have seen a lot of different structures defensively, or things that we've seen through the years, or that they've seen through the years. And so there's a lot of familiarity with them working together. And so certainly those 5 guys, like you said, the other 2 get a lot of publicity, but I think all 5 of those guys can be really good players. We just have to play to our potential.
You mentioned all these individual accolades they're getting in the preseason. It's a new offense for all 5 of these guys. How is that process coming along for the UNEUC first team?
Yeah, I think it's, without having been on the practice, Michael Mokofisi missed all of spring. Right. And so, this will be the first time he's running that offense. I'm sure there'll be a learning curve, but, you try to equate some of the things that we have done in years past, like, hey, this play is called this now, but if you remember, we used to call it, so there's some recall on their part. But we'll see where we're at, starting today, but I would expect us to, play at a level that everybody says we should be.
Jason talked a lot about using the tackles in space more on screens and traps and so forth. I guess, is that a new ebb to this offense, and how are you kind of working with Spencer and Caleb to prepare for that difference in comparison to last season's offense?
Yeah, I wish I could say I could take credit for Spencer and Caleb's athleticism, but that really has nothing to do with me. But the one thing with Jason that I think he does a really, really nice job of, he takes a look at the skill set of not only the perimeter players, but hey, here's what we have as an offensive line, what we think that they do well, and he's going to try to capitalize on those skills. And so, there are some more spread type concepts that maybe even they ran at New Mexico, but I think that's a tribute to how he just takes a look at what he has to work with and tries to find things that capitalize on those skills.
Caleb and Spencer are already obviously pretty polished in their games, but where do you see maybe areas of improvement that they could grow this year?
Yeah, so we sat down at the end of last night's meeting, and all those accolades are great. It's awesome, but to be completely honest, it means absolutely nothing starting today. Nobody remembers who was first team all conference preseason last year. Nobody remembers who was supposed to win the conference last year. We're all starting from square one, and that was the message that I gave them. In fact, I pulled off of X or Twitter, whatever you call it now. Our fans are awesome, but a lot of positive things that they hear, and I'm sure they read, but they've got to understand that, and certainly Spencer and Caleb are skilled players, but at the end of the day, we're all at square zero or square one, whatever you want to term it as, and that's got to be our focus. Is being talked about in June and July means absolutely nothing come November and December. So
what's going to be the key for Jaron Kump specifically at that center spot and him taking that next step in his game?
Yeah, he's got to be consistent with his physicality. We talked about that yesterday. Had a quick individual meeting of things that they need to improve on. He's got to be clear and concise and confident in how he's directing, the calls up front. And I thought he got better at that in the spring, and he's got to continue to do that this fall, is be physical and be confident in his communication.